at it, sitting here with my journals again. Boy, it was interesting today because I've shared the last video with a few people about journaling, and they're like, "Nah, I don't really want to keep a diary. That's for women." And of course, I like that's just crazy. It's no such thing as just being for women or for men. It's for everyone. These are very treasures everyone needs. But I did take some time to look up the definition of the difference between a diary and a journal. And a diary is pretty much just what happened to you that day and how you felt about it. But a journal is a logbook. It's where you keep records at. And so I feel like calling this the journal Chronicles was very intentional because it's not just about how I feel. It's about things I've collected, insights I've collected along the way that I believe now are going to be able to play a huge role in my life. Last time I was coming from Let Love Transform, and I wanted to continue in that one because there's some things that stuck out to me that I wanted to share. So this is from April 5th, 2019. It was my Sabbath day, Friday. You will recognize her by the peace she makes. Peacemaker creates a place for joy. Blessed are the peacemakers. Wait for it. This is something that, man, God has sent me that last year when I was doing my sabbaticals and really spending time with God. I was thinking about marriage and that next level of my life and things I wanted. And he kept showing me how you would identify her, what you would know, like the vibe, the energy that she would give off that would help you identify more thoroughly who she is or who she may be or where she belongs in your life. And I thought it was interesting because I don't know about you, but joy and peace are huge. They're huge for me. And this just reminds me in the Bible, it talks about the fruit of spirit. I believe it is one is joy and one is peace. And so it's impossible to have those in true authenticity without the Holy Spirit. So that's incredible to know that that can't be faked. The Holy Spirit will help me to discern truthfully if it's joy, if it's peace, or if it's something else. So that's good to know in this season. It's really good to know. God message to me says, "See me before you see me at work. Know I am with you." This is just, I remember writing this down, and it hits me just now, reminding me that no matter what it looks like, remember that God is always with me, because that does something for my confidence. That does something for my ability to push through situations or remain steadfast and solid in situations, because I know that God is there with me in the midst of it, and that there's nothing too hard for Him. And if He's with me, He's partnered with me, and that means that boom, we're gonna come out of this way better than we went into it. This was great. Where there is fear, apply practice. I remember this from my Sabbath. Continue to go over that in my mind because oftentimes where I feared, I would run from. But fear was just indicating to me that in a lot of situations, I just need to practice more. Where you fear, apply practice, Donovan. Where you fear, apply practice. So it never was a question of ability. Usually it's a question of confidence. When I hesitate, procrastinate, or flee the scene, run from a situation. Oftentimes it's not that I'm scared that it's going to hurt me or something. It's really just a lack of confidence on my side. So maybe what I need that's really going to help me have confidence is experience and practice and understanding. That's what could enhance my confidence. So that was a really good thing for me to remember because I want to do real big things in life. And I recognize there have been plenty of times where I had to apply courage, which is to move forward in the face of fear. But recognizing that when I do sense fear, asking myself, am I fearful because this is a place where I'm underdeveloped and I simply need more practice so that I can become fluent? So that was helpful. And also it says, belief affects biology. I am choosing this state. What emotion am I speaking from? This reminds me that my mind tells my brain what to do and my brain tells my body what to do. And so my mind is where I believe, where I promote an idea to a belief. And then those beliefs affect my biology because I believe something. This is a message that my mind sends to my brain. And because I believe that, oh, this is to harm me, or this is for me, or this is going to be great, or this is going to be scary, because I believe that hormones and things are released into my body to prepare me for what it is I believe. This is how I could be in a great situation, think it's a not so great situation, and end up sabotaging a great situation. So making something that could have been great horrible because of my own personal belief. I'm not saying that, you should always believe like, oh, this is really for me, but really have some solid foundations about why you believe what you believe, because it could protect you from, harmful situations that are not for you. That's what I took from it. I believe this is still April 5th. It says, what you hold on to affects greatly what you can receive. And of course, I always love to talk about capacity. And so this was reminded me last year, like, let some things go, because holding on to all of that limits what God can pour into my life or what I can handle without struggle. And I say struggle is bad, but like if I'm struggling because I'm holding on too much, that's just not wise. That's not smart. And so, yeah, what I hold on to, emotions, relationships that have outgrown the season, or ideas and beliefs that need to be matured. Yeah, that just makes me think about when I get online, I do share my insight with people. I try to say what I know so far because I know that I'm continuing to learn, I'm continuing to understand, and God's continue to reveal things to me. So I hardly ever come to hard places of conclusion unless God tells me, hey, this is it. And I try to stay in that vein of like, okay, I'm still learning. So this is what I believe so far, but I leave room for further evolution to happen. So this is from April 12th, a week later, that Sabbath. It says, don't escape, evolve. Oftentimes, my grandpa used to tell me, he said, don't let the enemy bail you out of a situation that God put you in. And that was a great reminder for me because oftentimes when God puts us in a fire or a trial, it is to refine us, it is to perfect us, it is to develop us and mature us. And it's uncomfortable. And when we're uncomfortable, the enemy, he be there like, yo, let me bail you out of this. Let me get you out of this. You don't need to be going through this. And this is not fair. And that is one of the ways he kind of gets our attention, man, and bails us out of situations that are really meant to develop us and help us to be further prepared for what's coming next. And so oftentimes I look back and see in my life situations where I didn't do so well. I'm like, dude, like, why am I not operating at this level of excellence? And usually I can trace it back to a training that I exited prematurely. Yeah. Don't run from the training. Don't run from the class. Yeah, don't escape. Evolve. Stay in it and let it develop you. All right. There's more here than meets the eye. Change how you see, and you'll change what you see. I am right where I need to be. These are some of the things I have to remind myself because last year, man, just being in those situations, out of a relationship, wanting to be in a relationship, trying to understand my employment situation, trying to understand how my purpose is my purpose, but it's not bringing in the resources for me to really have the money I desire to buy the things that I want. And I'm just like, bruh, this can't be it. What is going on here, God? Like, this isn't fair. This isn't right. And all the time, that's the enemy trying to get me into this place to where I can have access to worldly possessions, but be absent of development, absent of character. And God's like, man, let me mold you into who you truly are. All the rest of the stuff, don't worry about it. It's going to be added unto you if you seek me first in my righteousness, seek the kingdom first in righteousness. So, man, I started to change how I see, and that changed what I was able to see, which was allowing me to see. I didn't just get this revelation of like, oh, okay, I understand trials this way. I had to change how I see trials. When I started looking at how the Bible says that, these temporary struggles, like they produce for us a glory. These present trials, like, don't be scared of them. Allow them to refine you because faith isn't faith until it's tested anyway. And your development doesn't grow in your comfort. It grows in your uncomfort. I mean, I work out, so I know the importance of going to the gym, which is to put something heavy on you and continue to do it until it becomes easy. And that's the training area. So when you go out in life, like life is easy because I train hard, because I allow myself to train and be strenuous in the training process. Life, there's a breeze there for me. There's a fluency I'm able to walk in when it comes to discipline and resiliency because I practice it in the gym. And a lot of these situations God has us in is where we're supposed to be practicing. And I know I don't live underneath the weights. I don't live at the gym. I go there, I spend my hours, and I leave, but I keep it as a part of my life. And oftentimes, I think sometimes in life we look at our situations that we're in and we start to feel trapped by them when they're really just a season of training. And I think that keeping that in perspective, knowing that this season will pass, is encouraging and helping us to really dive in, be present, and commit our all to these seasons of development. Knowing that before we know it, it'll be over, and I'll be developed, and I'll be ready to move on to the next phase. That is one I could talk about for a long time, but I'm going to keep going. Your path is unique to your destiny. That one really hit me because I recognize that everybody doesn't have the same purpose or destiny and destination on their life. And so our path, the path is where, we get our resources, we face our trials and stuff like that. They're all specific to your destiny. And so I remember it reminded me of one word that God spoke to me when I was in Oklahoma, maybe around 2011 or 10. And God spoke to me that it doesn't matter what you see the people over there doing. You can't do what they do because they don't have your purpose, and it, again, doesn't seem fair. Like, God, they don't have your purpose. You are stewarding a purpose. You are living a life that has a specific purpose attached to it. And so the requirements for you are different. So you may not be able to wild out and do what everybody else is doing. You may have to spend more time in school. You may have to spend more time in these situations or around these type of people because of your purpose. And keeping that in mind helps me to not sit there and complain, but to sit there and allow God to develop my character and to really dive into it and be present. Shake the should. Shake the should. This one just reminded me of how the Bible talks about whatever could be shaken would be shaken because, the storms of life and earthquakes, and they come. But don't be mad when friendships are shaken or, decisions you made were, your consistency to them or your dedication to them is shaken. The shaking is good. The shaking identifies for me what wasn't solid in the first place, what I didn't have roots in. Sometimes we'll want to sit like something down and say, "Oh, it looks good. It's upright. It's holding steady. It's holding fast. You know, it's in my life. It's there." But if a storm comes, will it still remain? And the Bible kind of talks about, the man who builds his house on the rock versus him who builds it on sand. And it's something just to remember that, when things come in and you see them shaking, don't take it personal. Like, oh, this person doesn't love me or whatnot. Like sometimes because we didn't get rooted with that person. If there's a certain character about yourself, things you like to do, and then when hard times hit, you can no longer be loving or you lose your patience, stuff like that. Like it's shaken because you didn't really root yourself in that character. You got it on you, and then you want to quickly move on to the next thing instead of letting it really just become part of who you are, And so that's what it said for me, so that I can look at when I fail or when I fall, or I can look at it differently. So I'm not sitting in self-pity or shame. I'm just like, oh shoot, like man, that wasn't as solid as I thought it was. All right, let me put it back, but let me like really secure myself in it this time around, be it a relationship or a personal character trait. Be happy for real. That's just powerful all around. Like, there's no need to pretend. Be happy for real. What must I do to be happy for real? What came to me when I read that, probably even when I wrote it, is that I had to ask myself, why do I even want to be happy? What is happiness even good for? Why do I need it? What is it going to do for me to be happy? Not, oh, I should be happy. God wants me to be happy. But I have to ask, do I even really want to be happy? And that's a serious conversation to have with yourself, because it might uncover some things that you were not aware of, that you're struggling with on the inside. Man, be happy for real. A lot of that for me comes back to contentment. The Bible talks about how I know how to be content whether I have a lot or whether I have a little. And so being content is a big piece for me because I know that God is with me. When I fall out of contentment, it's usually me trying to have more control than God is really warning me to have. And I'm trying to do God's job, says He's doing my part. And I have to be cautious of that. That's what takes me out of that zone of being able to even be happy for real. Here we go. I promise to never waste my energy on women who ruin kings. I promise to never waste my energy on women who ruin kings. That's Proverbs 31. I don't know if it's verse 2 or 3, but it's in the beginning. Right before you hear about the virtuous woman. That one stuck out to me because in this process of remaking myself, I'm opening myself up to be vulnerable in different environments and, shedding myself so I can take on, new identities and new character. And the enemy was trying to send people in there during those times of transition or transformation, or when you're like healing from something. They'll try to send you in some nurses and some doctors and some people with those costumes on to get access to you. But recognizing that there are people out there who will try to ruin your royalty. As this verse says, don't waste your energy on women who ruin kings. You are who you are. And there are certain people who, when they don't see you for who God said that you are, they have no choice but to kind of taint that and push you away from it. Because I remember this lady told me one time, if a person doesn't know the purpose of a thing, by default, they're destined to misuse it. Let me say that again. If a person doesn't know the purpose of a thing, by default, they're destined to misuse it. And so if someone doesn't see me as a king, who do they see me as? Whatever it is, it's not a king, and they're going to treat me that way. And if I'm invested there and I continue to invest there, then it's actually zapping me of my strength and my energy, my king strength and energy. So not to waste my energy on women who ruin kings. And that really made me go down this long tunnel and trail of what does ruin a king. What really does ruin a king. So I'm a movie buff, and so that took me back to all these movies I love to watch, and started thinking about kings that I've seen be ruined by women or by circumstances, and started to take note, like, okay, this is what I need to be aware of. So I think I'll do the end of this one, and then I'll be done. This one's from April 18th. And this one, I was in Chicago. I went to visit one of my friends in Chicago. I went to do a photo shoot out there and visit one of my really good friends named Sam, Samantha. This is Chicago, 5:24 a.m. It's important to have people you can count on. That's all it says. That was from that day, 5:24 a.m. It's important to have people you can count on. And of course, that is still true to this day. And as I look at that today, I think about who can I really count on today for where I'm at, what I'm trying to accomplish. And it really helps me to recognize that continuing to build and refine my circle is going to be pivotal for me walking in the fullness of my purpose. Yeah, it's good to have people you can count on. Some people that you count on in one season may not be able to count on another season because that just may not be their lane. It may not be their major. It may not be something they're passionate about. And so continuing to keep an eye on your circle and refining it according to where you are in life and what you need is highly important. It doesn't mean that you're not loyal to your friends from another season, but you are communicating to them, hey, this is where I'm at in this season. And this is what I need. I don't need you to try to pretend to be something that you're not. But this is why I'm adding these people into my life and why they're, prioritized right now. At least that's how I do it. Man. So April 19th, on Good Friday, I wrote down all day at the ORD airport waiting to find space for me on a flight back home. This was the craziest experience. I was at the airport and I was, waiting to come back to LA, and I had my earphones in, and I don't know why I looked at my boarding pass differently, but they usually board an hour before the flight takes off. And man, wasn't paying attention. And all of a sudden, I think I took my earpiece off. Something I heard him say, "Donovan," over the intercom, like, come to this gate to board the plane. We're boarding. The doors are about to close. I was like, oh, shoot. So I grabbed myself, went over there. The lady said it on the intercom, and I got there, and they had already closed the gates and told me no. And I was like, you just called my name. She didn't really care. So that was that. I spent all day waiting to find another flight, and I was flying like a buddy pass. So if you flow buddy pass, you kind of know how that situation goes. Man, here's what I wrote down about that experience. Be patient. Stay aware. You can't control what you can't control. Be patient. Stay aware. You can't control what you can't control. You can't. You just can't control what you can't control. And I wanted to share that piece because I know some people have been in that same situation where you have to be patient. And when you are being patient, stay aware to what's happening around you. Look at the worst thing you can do is try to control something that you can't control. I can't build another plane. I can't fly a plane. I can't kick the door down and get on that plane without going to jail. So let me focus on what I can control, because I don't want to make my situation worse. It's already there for a specific reason. I need to be present and aware, like, okay, if this is really happening to me, why is it happening? Assess the situation. What can I control in this moment? And really sit with it for a second and get present, because there might be something there. It might be God saving you from a danger unseen, or it might be a person that you really need to connect with, and this is an opportunity of a lifetime that you got stuck here. Like, don't instantly go into panic or complain mode. What else I wrote about that was when you allow yourself to be exactly where you are, you become aware of the whys, the hows, the whens. Just be. So as I got present in that situation, like, you know what? Okay, this is where I'm at. All I can do is wait for, I know the flights for the rest of the day. I have to go to each gate each time and ask them, do they have space for me? Try to be nice and be cordial. This is happening to me. This is happening right now. So what do I need to do in this situation to maximize it? How can I maximize this? How can I silver line this situation? What good could possibly come from this? And I remember sitting there, had my computer. I could do some editing on. I could do my video editing, photo editing. I had some calls I could make, some movies I could watch. I could just sit and relax and enjoy myself. I saw a massage place in the airport where I get a chair massage and a pedicure. So I started really thinking about, okay, what could this become if I was just to be present? Like, the airport is a very resourceful place. It can be a magical place if you have money, enough money to, make it that way. Even if you don't, like, there are places like go to a gate where there's not a lot of people, which is what I did. Put my feet up, watched the movie, did some editing, talked to some friends. Like, it was powerful. No, I'm recording right now. So this is what came next. Question: what is the adventure where I presently am? One of my big values is adventures. I love adventures. I love adventures. What is the adventure where I presently am? And so I recognize that in situations, God is going to cause all things to work together for my good. And with that, I took time to say, okay, so if this is where God has me, this is what God is causing me to experience. What is the adventure here? I know it's not here to demise me, to hurt me. It's here to develop me in some kind of way. So I took a moment. I had a great adventure at that airport. I remember I was there literally all day. I got there like 5 in the morning. I didn't get a flight till like 10 p.m., but I made the most of it. It was an incredible experience. I learned a lot. I learned to see how I developed in life by being so-called stuck there. But I turned my stuck state into like a Sabbath. I turned my stuck state into this spa day almost. Like, I really did get a massage and a pedicure and watch a movie and ate well at the airport. Even though the food was expensive, but I made the most of it. And I recognize that in any situation, I can turn this thing into anything that I really need it to be for me if I'm just present and intentional and apply what I know and only try to control what I can. These are good reminders, especially in the situation we're in right now with COVID and being in, house arrest, being on stay-at-home orders, and the civil unrest that's happening in the world. What is the adventure where I presently am? How can I make this into something beneficial? And so, I think what I'm taking from all the stuff I read to you guys today is how important it is for me to set my mind on things above, set my mind on the right things, because all of it is dependent on my mind. Like I tell myself and other people all the time, your perspective is the only reality that you'll ever know. And so all this is really helping me to refine my perspective. into the place that it truly, truly needs to be, so that I can continue to make healthy decisions, so I can continue to live a fulfilled life, so I can continue to walk in the fullness of my purpose. And this is what you find in your buried treasures. So thank you for letting me share my journaling with you today. I'm going to close out here. I got people at the house. This is a good time to end it. Appreciate you that love can transform. Thank you guys for listening.